Hey, fourth grade. We are going to learn about partial products today, and this is one of my all-time favorite math lessons. Your parents might think otherwise because this is going to look a little bit new to them. However, I have had multiple kids in my years of teaching so far that use this method because it really makes sense to them and it really helps them to understand multiplication. So get ready to have some fun with this lesson. First off, we need to define what in the world is a partial product. So let's write down this vocab word and define it. So a partial product is when we find the product of each place value separately find the product of each place value separately and add them together for the final answer. So that's a big one, but that is majority of what you're going to write today. The rest is going to be pretty much numbers. So make sure you get that written down. Partial products is where we find the product of each place value separately and then add them together for our final answer. So you're thinking, what in the world does that mean? Well, I'm going to show you because it's so much easier to show you than to just sit here and talk about partial products. We need to do them. So the problems that we're going to see today look very simple, and you might even be able to calculate some of these in your head without too much effort. However, we always start out with easy problems when we're learning a new concept so that we can learn the concept and then apply it to harder things later on. So our first example is going to be 2 times 23. Now, we've learned that multiplication is a faster way to add. So I'm thinking, 23 times 2, well, I can think about that in terms of adding 23 2 times, because this is saying there's 2 23s. So if I do 23 plus 23, I can probably do that in my head and write down an answer. But we're going to learn what in the world is partial products and how can we use it with this simple problem. So 2 times 23, what I'm going to do is I'm going to split up the number that has multiple place values. That means it's a 2-digit or more number, and I'm going to write them separately. So the 2 here is worth 20. And the 3 here is worth 3 because the 3 is in the ones place, the 2 is in the tens place. So 3 is worth 3, 2 is worth 20. And when I add that up, 20 plus 3, I get 23. This is how we do partial products. So now I'm going to set up a little table for myself so that it makes sense. So draw a rectangle, cut it in half with a line here. And the number that we're multiplying, the 1-digit number, goes right here. And then we put 20 and 3 on top of each of these divided boxes. Okay? So what I'm doing is I'm taking 2 times 20, and then I'll do 2 times 3, and I'll write my answers in these boxes, and then I'll add them up to get my final answer. Because this is something that I can do in my head, and so I don't have to really work anything out. I'm just figuring out an easier way to solve, in the future, bigger numbers. So 2 times 20, 2 times 2 is 4, put on 1 0, so that's 40. 2 times 3 is 6. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 40 plus 6, and that's 46. Boom! I got my answer. Done. Now, many of you are thinking, well, I knew 23 plus 23 was 46 already before you even did that, Mrs. Engelbright. And I'm telling you, this is really going to make sense when we get to those more difficult problems. But for right now, we're going to stick to easy so that we can learn the concept. Okay, what if I had a problem like 3 times 32? Okay, so that's a little bit different because now I have 3 32s, and I don't want to have to add 32 3 times. That's too much work. So let's split this up into our place values. 2 is 2. 3 is worth 30. 30 plus 2 is 32, right? Okay, draw your box, or your rectangle, cut it in half. Okay, the number we're multiplying by, this 3, goes right here. Then we take this and we plop it up top. So this is going to be 30, and this one's going to be 2. And now we solve this like it's finding area. 3 times 30. Well, I know 3 times 3 is 9. Put 1 0 on there. So 3 times 30 is 90. Now I'm going to do 3 times 2, which is 6. And then to finish it off, I'm going to add 90 plus 6 equals 96. Okay, so this is pretty much today's lesson, just taking small numbers like this. You're going to split up the biggest number into its place values, plop those numbers on top, and then the number we're multiplying by gets multiplied by each of the place values, okay? So it's like 3 times 30 and 3 times 2. 2 times 20 and 2 times 3. Okay, let's do one more example just to make sure that we got it. What if we did... let's do a challenging one. Let's do a challenging one together. What if we did... I'm thinking 43 times 3. I meant to put 3. 43 times 3. Ooh, this one's a toughie. Okay, so here's my biggest number. I'm going to split it up. 43 is 40 and 3. I'm going to draw my box. Okay, I'm multiplying by 3, so that goes here. And 40 and 3 get plopped on top. Okay, are we ready? So I'm going to do 3 times 40. 3 times 4 is 12. Put on 1 0. 3 times 3, that's 9. So now I just have to add 120 plus 9. So even though this is a 3-digit number, it's the same basic thing. Don't freak out if it's a 3-digit number. You're just going to add these up, and if you have to stack them off to the side, so be it. You can write 120 plus 9, and you get 129. So our answer over here is 129. Woohoo! We did it! Yes! Okay, so partial products. When we find the product of each place value, add them up, and get our final answer. Now, hopefully that all makes sense. And make sure that you fill in all of the boxes that have color on your worksheet for today. And do your best. And we'll talk to you soon. There is a quiz tomorrow over lessons 1, 2, and 4. If you notice, we skipped lesson 3 because I don't like it. So we're only doing lessons 1, 2, and 4. And there is a short little quiz tomorrow over these. So make sure you understand these concepts before tomorrow. Bye, guys.